And this introduction won't be easy to write out, because I do have some mixed feelings about this microphone. There are times when I really like how it sounds, and then I sort of change my mind on it and think that it's not suited for me. And I just keep going back and forth with these thoughts, but today I have to come with a conclusion, not only for myself, but for you all as well. So, as of today, I'm going to be reviewing the electro-voice RE320 microphone. So let's go ahead and dive right in. For more great content just like this, just make sure to subscribe and then turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any uploads. Also leave a like and a comment down below with all of your thoughts on this video. And while you're at it, I always leave affiliate links down below in the description as well. But make sure that you check out Lukrembo so you can find the best deals on all of that tech that you're shopping for. It's a simple browser extension that helps you make the best purchasing decision. And lastly, don't forget to check out my merch store if you're into some monochrome clothing like everything I'm wearing right here. So with that said, links to everything down below. And every time I do a review on a microphone, I always stream with that exact same microphone, that exact same night, and so that you guys can get a pretty good idea of what it's like to use that microphone for live streaming purposes. So I'm going to be streaming tonight with the RE320, so if you're interested in seeing that, do make sure to follow me on Twitch, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have along the way, as I do like to have you guys over there as well. So please make sure to stop right by. And now, let's get right into the review. The unboxing here is going to be quite nice. We've actually got the packaging itself, and once you slide off the cover, you will find some instructions in the carrying case for the mic. Open it to find the mic, with the mount attached as well. Now, this is actually quite fancy. The exterior design is going to consist of metal, and while this is built quite well, and design-wise looks very beautiful to me, it is more so on the lighter side of things, and the Rode Pod mic being about half the size of this microphone feels much heavier and heftier as a result, and this isn't just a concern from a build perspective, but it's also going to be a concern when it comes to how it handles certain situations. It still feels good in hand, and it does feel premium, however, it's definitely not the best build I've come across at this price range, or even much lower than this if I'm frank. However, I am still a fan of the build and the mounting system in that it looks very sleek and it's easy to articulate this mic in pretty much any way that you would like, without any kind of issues. You're going to find a switch for flat mode, as I like to call it, since it keeps the frequency response at its standard configuration, or in this case, and you might also hear it be called the general mode or something like that. And then there's going to be the switch for the kick drum mode, so this mode is meant more so for drums, obviously. We will still do a spoken word test with this mode, as I can't play any instruments unfortunately. So I'm sorry, this is the best I can do for you. And as for some specs, you're going to get a frequency response of 45 Hz to 18 kHz, and this is going to be in the general mode. And now this is going to be a cardioid microphone with an impedance of 150 ohms. So in general, this is still a pretty quiet microphone in and of itself, so you do need an interface that can provide quite a bit of gain for it. And this whole time, you've actually been hearing this microphone without any kind of compression, and it's been in general mode the entire time, which should deliver on a boomier podcast-esque sound or broadcast style of sound, which is meant for those scenarios of spoken word applications in general. It sounds pretty good in the setting, and very much like how it sounds with my own voice in the setting. I do actually quite like it, and it doesn't make my voice sound too nasally, and it does a pretty good job at avoiding that in general. But it does sound a little more thin than something like the Audio-Technica BP40, which is right back there. It's just not quite as boomy, but it also sounds clearer because of that, and I think that this microphone might be a better fit for even more people than that microphone, for that exact same reason. And so far, you've been hearing what this microphone sounds like in this mode, with only, let's say, a mini fridge over there making a little bit of noise, and my PC fans making a little bit of noise, which you're probably not even hearing at all at this point. And now this is what it's going to sound like whenever you turn on a super loud AC, which is going to be on the other side of the room, so get ready for this one. And this actually does a really good job on its own at rejecting that sound, even more so than the BP40 in my opinion, as it sounds more like ambient noise than it does like a portable beefy air conditioner per se. So I would say that it does do a pretty good job in that regard. And now, the kick drum setting is going to have a different effect on my voice, and I mean it's not meant for voice work necessarily, but you can still use it if you believe it fits your voice best. However, I don't like how tinny it tends to make my voice sound in this configuration, as it reduces the low end and seems to emphasize the highs a little bit more if my ears aren't playing tricks on me, that is. And with a little bit of EQing, this is kind of how this microphone can actually sound like if you end up lowering the highs and the mids just a little bit and you boost the low end just a little bit more on the flat setting or the general switch setting. And I feel like this suits my voice a lot better than the standard setting on its own would. However, and this is just going to be with some very basic EQing in real time. And now, here's why I mentioned that I had mixed feelings about this microphone. It sounds quite good in the general setting without EQ, and it does introduce less noise than I was expecting at higher gain levels on an affordable audio interface. However, I do still hear a little bit of hollowness coming from this microphone. When I hear this back or when I'm monitoring the audio, I can feel a little bit of a slight echo almost, and I think that has to do with the thinner housing of this microphone. So I am harkening back to the build quality from earlier. And if you tap the arm that you hook this up to, and by mistake, even gently, it'll carry that frequency for a second or two, which adds even more credence to this mic benefiting from a thicker shell. Here's an example of what that would sound like. That was a pretty light tap, and it carried that for quite a bit. I do not like that. It could definitely benefit from a thicker shell here. I really don't like those resonant frequencies at all, so I believe a shock mount is almost required with this microphone so that you can avoid that in the long run. And when it comes to plosives, it doesn't do too incredibly well with them. However, I've been using a pop filter this whole time, so you must have not heard them regardless. And that's really my biggest issue with this microphone. It does sound a little bit tinny or hollow out of the box, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with the build in general. I'm not at all saying that this microphone isn't built well by any means, it's just that because of the thinner housing, it ends up sounding a little bit hollow, and it's not really my favorite kind of sound as a result. At the very least, I can hear it, and that might not be the case for you, because honestly, it's just completely possible that my voice and this microphone simply don't sync all that well, and that's okay. However, in the general or in the standard setting, it already sounds really good even with my voice, and that bit of tinniness that I mentioned a little bit earlier is still going to be present here. However, with a little bit of EQing here and there, and I really do mean just a little bit, you can actually help that quite a bit. And it can do wonders for it as well, and it even makes it so that it works with my voice a little bit better. And so, I can recommend this microphone for its great sound, and especially if your voice sits more so on the higher end, and if you don't want to mess around with any kind of audio settings or anything like that, then you might actually really like this microphone as a matter of fact, and it might be a better fit for you. However, do save up for a shock mount for this microphone. It does not come cheap, however it is almost required, because those resonant frequencies can ruin your audio pretty bad, and it's just not a good look. So I strongly recommend that you invest in one. If you do, you probably won't be disappointed with this microphone. I actually think that it might do a lot of wonders for you. And that is going to be my verdict in that regard. And now, if you are interested in purchasing this microphone and the shock mount and things like that, then I'll be making sure to leave affiliate links down to Amazon in the description. So if you end up using any of my links and end up making a purchase, I do get a small commission that does help me run things just a little bit more smoothly. So if you were to use those, I would appreciate that quite a bit. And also there's Lesser to help you make that search a lot easier whenever you're looking for all types of tech, including microphones and things like that. It's going to kind of give you a comprehensive list of like a ranking of which microphones are the most popular ones. So if you were to use Luster, then that would be a super useful browser extension for you, and then also helps you find sales on these microphones. So don't waste any more time, just go ahead and download it. Links are going to be found in the description too. If you use any of these, again, I get a small commission, so that does help me out quite a bit. And also, if you would like to see what this microphone sounds like tonight on tonight's live stream, then do make sure to stop by, because I will be streaming with this microphone, and I will likely be EQing it for my voice in particular, or maybe I'll leave it flat so that you can hear exactly what it would sound like. But also make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with the latest and greatest regarding the Tech Summit endeavors. With that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Hopefully you enjoyed this review, and I will be seeing you all on the next one. Enjoy.